Hey, welcome to my channel, All Things Adventure. Today we're going to be talking about a lightweight motorcycle camping setup that includes fishing gear that is, again, lightweight and practical. Not carrying too much, not carrying too little. You want to be comfortable when you get out there, but you don't want to carry a whole bunch of extra weight. So that's what this kit outlines and what I've kind of fine-tuned it as over the past few years. But before we dive into that, we're going to introduce myself. So again, as I mentioned, my name is Will. I live here in Northern Virginia with my wife and my 8-month-old daughter. I do a lot of motorcycle riding, commute back and forth into the DC area every single day, and utilize my bike for more than just motorcycle camping and adventure. Watch a lot of videos here on YouTube, and you've got the guys that live off their bikes, and this is all they do, right? Not really practical for the majority of people hanging out on YouTube and watching these. So how do you have your gear, how do you have your bike, and how do you have a full-time job and utilize all of those things? So I love to get away on the weekends, whether they're long weeks, going out and camping for week-long trips, 2-week-long trips, or going out for just an overnighter to get away and regroup. So I work quite a bit, working about 60 hours a week right now, and it can be tiresome. So every now and again, you got to pack up and get out, and this is, in my opinion, a great setup to do that. It's always at the ready. I keep it in an easy tote right here in my garage and load it up when I want to go and pick a bike and get out. So for today, we're just going to talk about my summer / early spring, a little bit chilly outside camping gear setup. So let's dive in and get a closer look at the table here behind me and kind of go over piece by piece briefly, and then kind of dissect each one and why I bring it, and why I feel this is the best setup for me. Again, everybody's gonna be a little bit different. Some people like to carry a little different things, but I watch a lot of these videos, and it seems there's no middle ground on these camping setups sometimes. You've got guys on their GS 1200s that are carrying everything, including the kitchen sink, right? And then you've got these other guys that are going out there in a minimalistic and sleeping under a bivvy, like my setup that I used for a little while. Just wasn't as comfortable as what I really wanted. But I compromised. I carry a little extra gear now, and a little more comfortable, still lightweight. Can be a little bit costly to get set up like this, but hey, yeah, it's only money. So let's dive in. Starting off with my tent, I used a big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2, a really lightweight backpacking tent. Not cheap, but well worth the money. Big Agnes makes great gear. And so one of the nice things about this tent is it is partially freestanding. So you can set it up with no stakes, but if you want to utilize all the room in the tent, you got to stake it out on all 4 corners. So in real rocky terrain, you don't have to, but it does save some weight and save some of the pole diameter by not having those extra poles. So I do pack it down into 2 different bags, and this fits great in my Kriega bags. So it's not all just about the gear that you bring, it's also how it packs and how you can break it down and kind of separate things out in order to fit your luggage situation. On my Africa Twin, really doesn't matter. I've got nice big bags on there, but I'm running 12-liter Kriega bags on my 450, and you've got to wiggle things to get it in there. So this is my tent fly and the ground sheet, and then this is the body of the tent, right? This can be set up with or without this. So in scenarios where it starts to pour down rain randomly in the middle of the day, and I want to get out and I want to make some shelter, I can set this up with just the poles and get under cover real quick and easy. So these are the stakes and the tent poles that it comes with. I put these in a Tusk tent pole bag, strap it to the top of my bike. Works great, keeps them out of the way. Moving on to my chair, I use the Moonlight reclining chair. This is a Nemo chair, and I've used a few different brands. REI was one of them, and I'll tell you, this is the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in. Packs down really small. My friend uses the Big Agnes chair that's quite large. He's a bigger gentleman, and he loves it, but does not pack this tight. So very comfortable chair. I'm 6'2" and still feel like I have good back support and can still relax around a campfire with this. This is my spring, summer, and fall sleeping bag. It is a 55-degree bag, packs down very tight and small. In the hot summer months, this is fine all by itself, right? In the spring and fall, when the temperatures drop down a bit, I do carry a sleeping bag liner. This also helps keep your sleeping bag clean when you're nasty and sweaty. This goes in the washing machine, real simple and easy. Sleeping bags aren't as easy to clean, so I carry this sometimes, just depending on the temperatures outside. All right, moving into my sleeping pad, all right? Last year, I was using the Cabela's sleeping pad. It was probably about a $60 or $80 sleeping bag I got from them. Rolled up to about the same size, but it was not insulated. And on the Northeast BDR, somehow it got punctured. So multiple nights I woke up and just laying on the dirt, not the best. So while I was out there, ended up finding an EMS, and I purchased a Big Agnes Q-Core sleeping bag. And it was pricey, but I'll tell you, best night of sleep I've ever had while out camping. Very comfortable, seems very durable. I've only used it a handful of times finishing off the BDR, but I'm very happy with this purchase and look forward to sleeping on this some more. Moving over to my Sia Summit Pillow. Packs down extremely small, but gets very large. Sleeping is a very important part of being able to do a motorcycle adventure, and being able to get a good night's rest, you can't put a dollar amount on that. So pillow, awesome. Moving into my kitchen setup. That's it. Kitchen gear can be some of the heaviest stuff you carry with you. Being able to get this down to a small size really saves a lot on weight and packability. So in my jet boil here, I've got my fuel, right? What it plugs into and hooks up to the can. Very lightweight, very packable, and while I'm out, I don't cook gourmet meals. I use the freeze-dried stuff on the nights that I don't stop and eat before camp, and this works great for me. Boils water faster than any other boiling system I've seen. In fact, when I go out camping with my buddies, we always do a little race just to entertain ourselves, and I win every time. So. I also bring a coffee mug because can't start my day without that. For food, depending again where I'm going, how long I'm going to be going, I carry a couple of bags of freeze-dried meals and really like the backpacker's pantry stuff. One thing, it packs down a little bit smaller, very narrow, not as much air in it as the Mountain House meals, and it tastes better. So carry a few of those, and again, I only try to carry a couple because these things are bulky and take up space, but I just jam them randomly into my packs where there's some extra space. I carry a collapsible 2-liter water jug. Don't want to have to carry around cooking water all day, and don't have to carry around a canteen and do that. So this folds up, put it in my backpack while I'm riding. Right before camp, we hit a gas station or whatever and fill this thing up and take it with us. Towels. Take a shower in the stream, whatever. This is my utensils for cooking, my coffee. I am not a coffee snob, just as long as it's got caffeine and coffee. So I use these little Folgers single roast packs and utilize that. And one of my most important things I carry, Sia Summit spoon. Life changer. Some fire starters, bug spray, things like that. Toiletry items, one convenient thing. And then a pair of sandals, right? My Jesus walkers that I carry with me. So that's what I sleep with and eat with, right? I've also got a light for the table, tent light, and a headlight. All right, before we go into how I carry a fishing pole and all of my fishing gear on my Honda 450 RL with a lightweight camping setup, we're going to go into my camera stuff. So I do like to be able to have a drone while I'm out riding, getting some cool aerial shots. I do not have a tracking drone. I purchased one that was small, lightweight, and could fit on my bike. So I got the DJI Mavic Mini 2. and very lightweight, very packable. I actually put this on my fuel tank, and it's very easy to get to, very convenient, and it forces me to kind of use it. So I hate getting camera gear out to snap a photo. I'm not great at that, so getting something that was small and packable that sat right on my lap kind of made me remember, hey, grab a shot while you're here. So that's the drone, and then comes with extra battery packs, which is also convenient because you can use this to charge your cell phone if you needed to. Right, I carry a digital camera, a tripod, most important piece of all my camping gear, my Garmin Inreach. This hooks on my Revit jacket, stays on my body while riding. That way if I get ejected from my bike, I can hit a button and hopefully somebody comes. And then a Leatherman. So again, two things that are always on my person and never leave home without. So, fishing. Not a huge fisherman, but I do love sitting at a stream and relaxing, the crashing little waves, all that jazz. I love it. Really could care less if I catch anything, to be honest. But hey, if I catch something great, this is it. This is my fishing pole, and this is my tackle box. Okay, this is a 10.5 foot Tenkara rod. It expands out to, well, 10.5 feet, and it's a fly rod. There's no reel. It's like old school fishing with a bamboo fishing pole down by the creek with your granddad. What this is like, and this is what it reminds me of every time I take it out. So love going out and being able to just cast the line, sit there, flick a line in the water. Just doing this number is almost more relaxing than sleeping under the stars. So all right, so that is it. That is my camping setup. There are two things missing in this setup, and that is my toolkit, and that packs down into a 6-liter Kriega bag, and I swap that back and forth between my Africa Twin and my 450. So the other thing that I'm missing here is my clothing, and everybody kind of has their own preference on what they bring, depending on how big you are. That kind of depends on how big your clothing is, depending on what time of year. A lot of variables when it comes to what you're packing on clothing. As a example, for the Northeast BDR, I carried a pair of shorts to sleep in, carried some long johns, things like that to stay warm, and I carried a pair of camping pants that zip off on the bottom, and then I brought 3 or 4 t-shirts, and then again warm clothing to ride in, and my Revit riding gear. So I pack all of that stuff down into these little cubes from REI. It allows me to cinch them down, get the air out of them, makes it much more manageable. And it's also convenient because they've got little handles on them. I can yank them out of the saddlebag, throw them in my tent. They are there when I need. I also use them as pillows, packed full of clothing, very comfortable. I set them on the back up against the tent and my sleeping pad. Kind of keeps my sleeping pad from shifting on me overnight, and then kind of gives me a little rest for my pillow so it stays nice and comfortable. All right, so that's it. That is my setup. If you are interested in seeing how this loads out onto my bike, I'll be doing a later video on that. If you want to get alerted, hit subscribe, and you can see how I pack this out on my 450. And here's a kind of a glimpse of when I did the Northeast BDR. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and get out and ride. You only live once. It's short. Make it worth it.